fight, fight, fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to No Filter Gen Z Season 2 premiere. We got Lydia, we got a new face here, Elijah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We'll have some more people as we go on as well, but welcome to No Filter Gen Z. Today we're going to be talking about Trump's first term so far, and you might think this is a little different because usually we're virtual, and we're in person now, so cool little change up for Season 2, but we're going to be talking about the first 50 to whatever, how many days it's been, and what Trump's been doing so far. So since it's a new season, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? We'll start with Elijah since he's new.
I'm Elijah. I live South Sarasota. Big Trump fan. Overall, he's done a great job. Not much more to say.
All right, Lydia, they know you.
Yes, hi. I'm Lydia. I've been working with Camden for a couple months now, as of last year. I met Camden. It's been really great. Getting back with Season 2, I'm so excited. Also really I'm so excited what this year has looked like so far with Trump, and I can't wait with these next 4 years.
Yeah, the last time we were here, it was during the election season. So we were kind of like on edge, kind of talking about all the things leading up to the crazy election. But now, Trump won, we're here, I think we're all pretty conservative here, but we'll definitely probably disagree on some things, everyone, and that's when critical thinking comes in, because Democrats usually just always agree because they don't think for themselves a lot, but we do. So you'll see that. But just to get started, I want to talk about immigration, because that was one of the biggest issues that people were talking about to get Trump back in office. Was the border is out of control, so many crossings every freaking day, and Biden wasn't doing anything about it. It was completely open. So what do you think about how Trump has done since he's got back in the White House on immigration?
Well, first of all, I think it's been great. I love what he's been doing. I recently saw he released a video on the White House Instagram page, but he was talking about how the CBP One app, which is what Biden and Kamala, they had used to essentially allow people to gain access into the country. Like they could just it was like with the tap of a button, they were allowed to come in, and it would be allowed essentially, but not really because it is illegal. But he changed it basically. So now you can self-report yourself and then you can be deported this way. So essentially, I think he made it really easy for people. So it's like, as far as someone coming into your home unannounced, now you can plan and you can be like, okay, I've come in illegally, so now I can take accountability for my actions and I can literally self-report.
And I want to bring up that in February, the border crossings were at an all-time low, ever. So we had an amazing month there, but it's just down ridiculously, the margins from where it was with Biden to now. It's insane. It's almost like they were doing it on purpose. That's what it looks like. So, Elijah, what do you think about the immigration so far?
Well, according to the Southwest Land Border website for border protection, January to February went from 61K to 11K crossings, which is absolutely insane. And literally December to January went from 96K to 61K. This is all on an official government website that you can check out for yourself. So if you disagree, go Google it.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely insane because, you think about it, hundreds of thousands of millions of people over the past 4 years have been crossing this border illegally, taking our jobs, taking our money, our tax dollars, and using it to live lavishly in a land where they don't have to work and they contribute nothing to society.
Yeah, they were almost getting stuff to come here, like free housing, free healthcare, all these things in California. That's what
money, a phone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then you see Americans, veterans on the street struggling, but then you have illegal immigrants. Yeah, that makes me mad too, because that's the people who fought for us, and we're prioritizing people that came here committing a crime to come here legally. So Trump's done a great job, and he actually had a great appointee for the border czar, Tom Homan.
He's awesome.
He's been really good. So I think immigration so far is great. But another thing that everyone was hoping Trump would change is the direction of World War III, right? Yeah. We had several wars going on, and they still are happening. So what do you think about his job with Russia and Ukraine so far?
I think he's doing perfectly fine. No war, especially with Russia, is just going to end overnight.
Yeah.
They're probably second or third most powerful nation in the world. They're not about to just bend the knee just because we asked them pretty please.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to take a little more than a couple of days to get this war ended.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing a perfect job. Zelensky's finally opening his eyes after that pathetic meeting he had. So hopefully he's coming to his senses. It looks like he's wanting peace now. So hopefully we get that soon.
Yeah, and I think what he has done is got them to the table.
Yeah.
He's talked to both of them, which is the first step in doing anything to resolve an issue is you got to have them talking.
Absolutely.
So did you see that, the Ukraine and
Yes. Are you talking
Zelensky
about
and Trump?
Oh my goodness. Because I remember I saw it come out. I saw Charlie Kirk, he posted about it. He goes, like, this will be in the history books forever. It's like what he said. And I was like, what? And I probably listened to that like maybe like 5-6 times. I was just like flat. Because it was, you could see, and I remember hearing before they were actually cutting that specific clip, I think it was before the cameras were rolling, but it was essentially Zelensky, he had been like rolling his eyes and scoffing the whole time. Like Trump was just talking and Trump didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think that's when Vance finally called him out and he goes, have you said thank you once?
Yeah.
Have you said thank you once? And he goes, oh no, I've said thank you before. He goes, no, but like in this meeting, like we've had you come here and we're talking to you and we're being respectful, but you're like not reciprocating it at all.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. And I think that's very, as far as like diplomacy, and I think the way that in which they laid that out, and not that they weren't mean about it. I mean, they were just being firm, like standing our ground as far as a nation. Like we're not going to get walked on and stepped over.
And here's what I'll say is it's during war, everyone's emotional, right? So I kind of understand Zelensky a little bit, but watching just the clip, it looks really bad. Like it looks like everyone is not super great. But then if you watch the whole segment of them sitting down, it wasn't until Zelensky actually said that America will feel what Russia will do to them. And so when you threaten America like that, Zelensky was saying like, oh, you haven't felt it yet, but you'll feel. And so that's when Trump's like, you don't tell us how to feel.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying that's a good leader. We need someone strong like that. It's not going to let other countries walk on us. So I liked that Trump stood up for that. But JD Vance, he started it. I think he kind of escalated the situation a little bit, but what did you think about it?
I think it was a great performance in showing that we are not the former administration. They were being walked on left and right.
Yeah.
And so
It's true.
Having some firm, strong people in power, especially Trump and now Vance, who's turning out to be like really, really strong, and I really like him a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's backing up the president and he's not afraid to.
Yeah, that's a difference from Mike Pence. When we had him and foreign leaders, he would just sit back and not say a word. Yep. JD Vance is actually involved with the conversations, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other war, it's crazy to even say there's that many things going on, but Palestine and Israel. Something that Trump did on one of his first days in office is release some of the hostages. He got them released by, talking on the phone and doing things with them. So how is his performance on that war?
I mean, I think that's been great that he was able to get them released in the time that he did.
Yeah.
Because, there was no proactiveness from Biden in that at all. There was no urgency because, that type of thing is extremely serious, especially when that happens.
And they'll try to take credit, too.
Oh, and they will.
Watch.
And
they'll say, oh, that was Biden. They finally got to their...
They set it in motion. They were the ones that set it in motion. But there was no action behind their words, if anything.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that it happened the way it did that way. And obviously that's just a very sensitive subject, just everything that's happened with Israel and Palestine. But just to see that there was good that came from that at the very start.
Yeah, at least something was going.
Something happened and someone, innocent people were released.
Yeah.
For sure.
I want to turn towards the economy now because that is also, one of the reasons I like Trump so much is because he knew how to run a business. He's a businessman. He's a billionaire. He's done it before. And by the way, people will say, well, he has so many bankrupt businesses. He's failed. And I'm like, to be successful, you have to fail. That's a part of success. Yeah. So I like how he knows how to run a business. We got him back. Some things are better, some things are not. Something that people are complaining about is the stock market. It's really going down. But at the same time, gas prices have been going down. Exactly. Egg prices are going down since Trump got in office. So what's your take on the economy?
Well, I think about stocks. You look back, history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
Cyclical too.
So yeah, the stock market is going to start going up. Mm-hmm. And then when it goes up, it crashes. And so, about stocks, like, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. No matter who the president is, it's going to happen. And it's just inevitable. So I think he's doing a just fine job on that. Mm-hmm. I think egg prices went from $9 to $3 a carton. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty dang
and gas
good.
is back in the twos here.
Gas is
finally.
back in the twos.
Yes.
I think we're doing just fine.
Yeah, but one thing they'll bring up is tariffs. Trump is really strong on tariffs, and so that causes some instability with people that are watching back. Like, if we do that, they're not going to like that, so I'm going to take my money out of the stock market. Yeah. So that kind of plays a factor here. For sure. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, the tariffs he's been implementing?
Well, personally, I think the tariffs, when you actually see what's going on with the tariffs, I think it's a great thing because he really is, through the tariffs, he's encouraging us to buy more things in America.
Yes.
So
and make things in America.
Make things in America. And that's also, I think, our problem with manufacturing, that we need to make more things here in order for people to buy more things here. So that's like the give and take of that. But I really do. I'm glad that he's doing that because I think that's a really good like negotiating tactic that he is doing because he's like, okay, like if you're going to do this, well, then I'm going to have tariffs.
And by the way, these countries have done it to us all these years, and we haven't said one thing.
This is historical.
Yeah, but then when we do it, everyone's like, oh, look, Trump's the bad guy.
No, every other country. They do it to us. Absolutely, yeah. So it's like, why are we not making an equal playing field there? Why are we not doing what they're doing to us that way?
Yeah, and what it is it's a long-term gain. Like right now, it's like, okay, it's a little unstable because we're just doing these things. Trump's actually taking action.
It'll level up.
But after a while, it's actually going to benefit us a lot because then these countries aren't walking over us and we're getting stuff made in America again.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's great. I think Canada especially has been very abusive towards us. I don't even consider them an ally. An ally is a friendship, and friends don't really scam each other. And Canada put 238% tax tariff on butter, 250% on milk. Like, why?
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Yeah. We're supposed to be allies here. We're supposed to be mutually benefiting.
Are you talking about the 51st state of America?
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I think he's serious. Like he about a lot of these things.
He's serious about the Gulf of America.
And you know what he does, too?
Yeah.
Trump says something wild every now and then to get people's attention again. But then you see all the other amazing things he's doing. That's how Trump works, and he did it all his first term. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. Yeah, he's very strategic on when he says things. But Gulf of America, that's something to talk about.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think? Is that unfair of us, or do you think that's what we should do?
I thought it was because it's like Gulf of Mexico, but like we're literally here too.
And we're in the Americas.
Exactly, so. North America. Like we're all right here. So I don't think that should be controversial. I don't think that what people are saying about it is okay necessarily when they're saying against it. Like I think it's great. I honestly was not fully sure it was actually going to happen. I was a little skeptical.
That was a joke.
And then when he actually kept talking about it, I was like, oh no, he's serious. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of here for it though. Like this is awesome.
He surprises me every time.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. First 50 days have been way better than I actually expected because I know we were in such a bad spot with Biden's. Yeah. It's going to take time to get back to where we were.
We forgot what normal looks like.
Yeah, because it got so bad that was normal to us. Yes. And that's how I felt with gas prices a lot. I'm like, well, it goes down like 20 cents. I'm like, oh, it's so good. No, we're way up from when Trump was in office last time. So, I mean, it's still going down. And I don't want to hear people talk about that everything's crashing because slowly it's going back down because of Trump's leadership, because he's taking action. Absolutely. Something he's taking action with is Doge. This Department of Government Efficiency, he got Elon Musk to run it. How do you feel about it so far? We saw the joint address to Congress, we'll talk about in a second, listed all these things about the waste we've been spending. Yeah. So how do you feel about the Government Efficiency Department that Elon Musk is running?
See, a lot of my friends think it's a bad idea, and he's just going about it the wrong way, but I think completely different. I think the government has been so corrupt for so long that we need to take immediate action. There can't be any time to hide evidence. There needs to be just digging up evidence right here, right now, mass firing, because they're not for us right now. Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter either side. They're on both sides. They're corrupt, and we need to get rid of them.
And the thing I see is, do you see politicians go into the government in Senate, House, whatever, with hundreds of thousands? They leave with millions.
Exactly.
Where are they getting this money? It's not just falling on their lap. There's a lot of corruption. Yeah. And so what Elon Musk is doing is he's saying, no, let's look at where this money is coming from and going, and let's put Americans first again. So how do you feel about it?
Well, I think just the concept in of itself, when I heard there was going to be that new cabinet department, like I was like, this is going to be great. I mean, and when you also, not even like our own federal government employees, but it's also like foreign where things are going to different nations, like random projects, and I think there was something that I heard, like transgender mice, like it's like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they call it like science and like
that's our money.
Like that. I'm like, why are we funding that? Why are we supporting that? Because even though whether we want to admit it or not, like regardless, put your money where your mouth is kind of thing. And that is, if you're putting money there, then apparently you care about it enough. But why is the question?
Yeah.
Because we're wasting a bunch of money. You saw how many people were, 180 years old getting Social Security.
Yes.
So what's happening is someone is taking that money.
Yeah.
It's not just going nowhere.
No.
Someone's getting that money.
Gone.
Yeah, and that's our taxpayer dollars going towards 200-year-olds. Like, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I love the accountability as far as what each department was doing. I saw Pete Hegseth was also doing it, but like as far as like saying what you did in the last 7 days, or say what you did in the last week, 5 things you did. And it was like the struggle. They're like, I can't believe, like, they just need to let us do our jobs. Well, if you were doing your job, then you would have no problem giving us 5 things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where the issue lies there. And I think accountability for the workers trickles back up as far as where Doge is with that. So,
but something that's happened is these people get so crazy, the left gets so crazy, they think that, we're trying to destroy America. They think Elon Musk is evil. And so what they do is they come and burn down literal Teslas. Yeah. They throw these things at them, blow them up, and that's just normal. But then when Republicans say anything, it's violence. They're inciting violence. How about the people that are actually doing this? It's always the left. Look at the assassination attempts. And now we're here with Tesla. I mean, Elon Musk is leading a department of the government, and he's getting completely nailed for it. What do you think about it?
I think it's just absolutely pathetic on the Democratic Party, just simply because you look at the BLM riots, you look at how they think about January 6th, even though these people were literally tortured.
And these same people are blowing up Teslas.
And these same people are blowing up Teslas, wiping their butts and wiping it on the Tesla cars. I saw a video of that. Absolutely pathetic and poor behavior for a 20-plus-year-old adult. I mean, act your age, please.
And keying Teslas with their keys.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
We're all Americans. Let's treat each other the same exact way, please.
Yeah, but you won't hear that from the left. Yeah. It's always going to be that they're evil, that they're trying to destroy America when they are literally doing that very thing. Literally. But what Elon Musk has done is he's not backing down. He's brave enough to. He has billions of dollars. He's like, I don't care. And what made me really mad is even the Democratic leaders, Tim Walz, comes out on stage and says, he just said this. He goes,
I think he wasn't man enough. We're talking about
yeah, and then he looked at the Tesla stock. He's like, it's 200 and going down. And like, why are we celebrating American companies going down? What's American about that?
No, and the thing is, it's just so funny to me, like how popular Tesla was and still is. It's like, and then you see all of the liberals, you see that they put like on the bumper sticker, like, I got this before Elon was crazy. Like, you all loved him and loved his vehicles before. Like, again, like, I don't think I would ever buy a Tesla. I'm just saying. But I don't have a problem with them, and I don't have a problem with people owning them. So I'm like, again, I think that's ridiculous that anyone would want to demean any type of American business, and the thing is, like, Elon came here, he's South African, like, he came over here, American dream, like, he's made so much money through this, and I don't know why we're bashing people.
And by the way, these are the same people that were saying that we need to go all electric vehicles because we're ruining the environment, and yet they're blowing up Teslas that are the electric vehicles that you're supposedly thinking that are going to save everything.
Make it make sense. Yeah.
I don't understand.
No.
It's so hypocritical of them.
It's extremely hypocritical, and they're considered the party of tolerance. Well, they consider themselves that, and I'm not seeing anything that's tolerant so far in these last couple months.
Speaking of tolerant, let's talk about the joint address to Congress that Trump gave. The Democrats, literally babies, holding up signs, crying. The guy stands up and yells at Trump. Like, that was the most clear I've ever seen one side of the country and the other side of the country being represented in such opposite ways. Yeah. What do you think about that whole address Trump gave and the reaction from Congress?
I think these Democrats need to wise up because Trump is clearly speaking that he wants to work with both sides.
Yeah, he said that at the very beginning.
Very, very clearly. And you're making an absolute fool of yourself, and you're going to get yourself fired real quick.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to vote? We got the primaries in 2026. Who's going to come and vote these people back in office after they pouted like babies, wouldn't stand up for a kid with cancer, brain cancer, Riley Gaines. There were so many people that they talked about that night that deserved just to stand up, even like people that wanted to go into the military. Yes. All these things, they couldn't clap once for them.
No, and that just goes to show, like, their hearts are, and this comes to a spiritual level too, because their hearts are so hardened to anything that's good and true, like all of those things. And so when you see, I mean, Trump talking about these things, and then you see their reactions. I mean, first of all, their reaction was silence, and they were just sitting there, and then they were holding up the signs. Yeah. Like, they were holding up
signs. Musk steals. Like, what are you doing?
What are you talking about? And you're the same people that are sitting in your, high horse, and you're getting all this money, and you're still in Congress, and you're very old, and you're not doing much for the American people. You're doing it for yourself.
And Trump wasn't scared to call them out. No. On the night, he kept looking at them. He says, "We're gonna make America great again." Points at the Democrats. I love it.
Yes, and it was funny when they would pan back the camera, and you would see like all the Republicans had like standing up clapping, and then you'd see that one section like in the middle, and they were all just like sitting there in silence. And I'm like, just what a just a really sad life. Like, what a sad life you have to be so just.
And this is not just our side. This is what they did on the opposite side too. Because when Biden was in power, Republicans were at the joint address and clapped. They applauded for certain things. Yeah. But when we saw the one with Trump, they can't take it. They're so just filled with anger that they can't take it.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, it's really, it's just sad, because it is a spiritual thing, and it's very sad to see that. I feel like it's gotten worse that way. Like, I feel like I remember when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, and I remember when she and I believe this was during, I think it was Trump when he was his first term, and I remember she ripped up the document behind him
during his address, just like ripping up the papers.
Babies, that hasn't changed, but I feel like it's gotten worse for sure.
Yeah, it's because their hatred for Trump. They can't take, even if it's something good for everybody, they can't take it. No, they just won't let him have.
Good. They don't like that apparently. So.
If Trump says it, they can't. Yeah. If it's the other way around, everything Biden did was amazing, even if it wasn't. Like, it's just hypocritical. Yeah. So let's turn the tables a little bit. What do you want to see from Trump next 50 days in this first year of his presidency?
I mean, honestly, just keep doing what he's doing, kind of thing. I mean, it's just been so, as far as just, and I remember in the beginning, especially with, I'm going back to immigration here, but when people were talking about how like, this is just so harsh and all this and all that, but it's like, it has to be harsh before it gets better. Yeah. And so I think when we see that, that slow incline as far as when things continue to get better, I feel like that's when we're just going to see more progress, and we're really going to see, the Make America Great Again tagline. We're going to see that increase even more as far as progress and opportunity and all of that. So I don't know what you think, but
I would personally like to see the more of the agricultural side of our economy become better.
So what do you mean by that? Sorry to interrupt.
Just in general, no, you're good.
Like, for the people that don't really understand that side of everything.
Yeah, I think he appointed RFK for a reason, and me coming from a farming background and living out in rural America, I see a lot of what the politicians make us do, and the rulings that they have over farmers. Like, you can only grow this type of wheat, but what happens when a disease comes? Then that wheat gets wiped out, and then you got bread production at an all-time low, and then we have to buy bread from some other country.
We saw that with eggs just now. With a bunch of chickens had some kind of, I think it was bird flu or something.
Yeah.
And so the prices go way up, and we had to get it from other
countries. The way, with that, I found out from a local friend of mine back from where I'm from that they were not just taking the ones with bird flu. The ones that were perfectly healthy and in a completely different barn, they were killing them too.
What?
Just because one of their barns had bird flu in it.
That's weird.
And so they wiped out this entire person's livelihood, pretty much, all because of one barn full of birds that had bird flu.
Oh my.
That's weird.
It's horrible.
That's horrible. All that money, time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of time.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you mentioned RFK. He's been pretty good so far. He actually got seed oils out of, I think it was Steak and Shake or something.
Yeah,
they switched their fries to a different.
Tallow.
Yeah. And so, I mean, he's actually making changes. That's a good start. Even from someone who people were like, this guy's crazy. He's he's just doesn't know what he's talking about because he's not qualified. Well,
Yeah,
look what he's doing, more than anyone's done in that position for how many years? Like, look at who we had before.
I was just gonna say the contrast is insane.
We had, you just look at the
Still,
person
we're all
up.
thinking kind of thing.
Just look the person up, and you'll see, like, if you think that was a better person to represent the health of America than RFK Jr., then I don't know what to tell you.
I just see like so many other countries when we talk about like the food dyes and things like that, because I think they were able to get rid of it. It wasn't Red 40, it was another food dye. But I think about the fact of like so many things that have like, you know, more natural coloring as far as like from fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Like, in my experience so far, I haven't seen anything that's like changed the taste of anything. So I'm like, again, why seed oils, food dye, like why do we need them kind of thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's the first person that said, let's actually change it.
Yeah.
Let's not just like
Proactive.
talk about how bad it is. Let's do something about it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I want to see, I think probably the main thing I want to see from Trump is continuing to improve the economy, because this is what people are going to talk about. Everyone's going to say, you voted for him, and now look at the stocks. I'm like, okay, long-term gains. Let's see where the tariffs go. I don't know how, like sometimes Trump goes for these tariffs as a negotiation tactic to get them to, or as a fear tactic, like to get them to change what they're doing. I wonder how far he's going to go with this to say, like, is he going to keep these, or is he doing that just to get them to change? So that's what I'm wondering. I want to see some clarity on that. I think that will actually improve the economy is him talking to the American people so they know what he's trying to do.
Exactly.
At the same time, though, you can't let other countries know your next move. So, I mean, it's got to be strategic. So, what do you want to see next? Like, what's the next?
Well, I was talking about immigration earlier as far as just how harsh it was before and how, like, you know, when it starts to slowly get better and we're seeing obviously less and less people cross over illegally. I mean, I think definitely cracking down, and I know that they were like, you know, as far as, I don't know where they're at on the border as far as the actual like border wall, because I heard that they were starting the rebuilding of that, because I know that I remember there was a point in time during Biden's term they were selling some of the parts of the border.
Stupid.
So I'm not sure where they're at there, but as far as like actual like physical security and border patrol agents, because I know there's so much more down there now in general. So obviously the maintenance of that is so important. And obviously like the fear tactics I think have been going strong there. So it's preventing that anyways kind of thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Democrat Party. What's next for them? Because it seems to be going downhill. Like everything they're doing is making it a greater chance for Republicans to win again in 2028. So what do you think they're doing? Like, is there a strategy to any of this, or are they just going down the rails?
Probably go back to what you were before this whole woke bull crap.
Yeah.
Because at least then you had some common sense.
Yeah. It's
You
not
had
popular.
some agreeable viewpoints on both sides. Like, we could at least agree with you somewhat back then.
Yeah.
Now it's just all about inclusivity, even though we're all American. We all have the same rights. No one is less than. We all are treated the same.
Yeah.
Outside of individuality. One person may treat you different. That's how the world works.
Yeah. Sorry to say, it's always going to be like that for everybody. Someone's going to say something to you that you don't like. But DEI is something Trump has really cracked down on with the education system, because he's trying to get education back to the states, make sure they can do their own stuff instead of having these regulations on curriculums about, you know, you got to talk about transgender stuff or critical race theory, all that. So I'm liking what he's done so far with that, and hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, I'm very excited just to see where that goes. And I agree with you, Elijah. I literally just saw, I think CNN released it, but the Democratic Party, their approval rating is like an all-time low.
It is.
Yeah.
It's funny that CNN is reporting that, obviously.
And Trump's is up, like
Yeah.
almost highest it's ever been.
And
So,
so I think that collectively, like with DEI, critical race, like all of that is going to crash and burn with them, because if their ratings are going down, then it's, you know, it's going to go down within the Department of Education. Like I saw that he just signed for that. So let's see how it passes kind of thing.
hopefully it does.
Hopefully it does. I don't know how the odds are there, but
But he's also done a lot with the transgender stuff in sports. He's taken away federal funding from the schools that are still doing boys and girls sports, which, that to bring up to your point about the Democrats, this is not popular. No one wants that. And so I think if they're ever going to get back to a common sense party, it's got to start with boys and boys sports and girls sports.
Exactly.
It's just common sense.
Yeah.
And so it's ridiculous, but I'm glad Trump is actually taking action and saying, we're not going to give you funding if you do that, because it's wrong.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's biological, not even in the fact that it is wrong, but it's biology. But it's like, you know, we teach science in schools and we teach biology in schools, but we're having a hard time differentiating. We're affirming lies.
And remember 2020 when the Democrats were saying trust the science? Okay, until it comes to boys and girls, they think that they're identical. Like what?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's another hypocrisy, but I think we're in good hands for the next 4 years. Do you think that any insight on 2028 yet? You think anybody's gonna be the standout Republican?
I don't know. I'm really excited.
It's really early, but you know.
I would say Vance. I could definitely see him trying to take a crack at it. I could see Vivek because I know that he was running for Ohio. So we'll see how that goes. DeSantis, I don't know. Will he take a crack at it again? I'm not sure. Those are the kind of people I've been thinking of. I don't know that. I'm just very excited just when primaries come up and all of that, and so
there's a lot of hope in the Republican Party. Like we got a good, you know, J.D. Vance is a strong guy, and we have a lot of options. Democrats are crumbling. They don't know what they're doing. So if they can bring it back to common sense, I'm sure that there'll be a better election. But I don't know how soon they're going to learn their mistakes.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
That's it for the first episode, guys. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for watching because we're back. Season 2, we're back in person. Best show ever. Thank you guys for coming on. No Filter Gen Z. Subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.